This morning, the London Times, Lampard left stunned by Jose attack. Frank Lampard hit back at Jose Mourinho for criticising his Chelsea players for their performance in the 4-0 defeat away to Manchester United yesterday. Mourinho, who had 2 spells in charge of Chelsea and 1 at United, was working as a studio pundit for Sky and questioned Lampard's team selection, claiming that Chelsea lacked internationals and big players. A little bit of experience would fit well with the team. You look at the performance of Mason Mount, the performance of Tammy Abraham, you look at the performance even of Christensen, and for matches of this dimension, you need a little bit more. Is he wrong? I mean, N'Golo Kante was on the bench.
Like, it's interesting watching Jose yesterday. Decent start, as you'd expect from him on Sky. Also kind of saying that, you know, Harry Maguire and his capabilities of a less left-sided central defender are going to be called into question because, you know, at left-back you've got Luke Shaw. I think there'll be lots of not-so-veiled digs from Jose Mourinho throughout the season. Is he signed up for the season? I wasn't sure. Or was it just a one-off? No, signed up for the season.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, I was watching Sky Sports News on Saturday morning and it was like Jose signs for Sky Sports. So
okay.
I don't think it's a one-game loan spell somehow. I think we're going to see a little bit more of him.
Well, that's much better, right? That's exactly what he should be doing.
As in...
he's a brilliant communicator.
Yeah.
He's got a nasty streak to him where he's going to try and settle scores. And he's nowhere near as good as he needs to be a football manager anymore.
And Graham Souness will still probably be the star in the Sky Sports studio.
I mean, I still think Roy Keane's out there. Just add him to the mix.
Yeah, Roy and Jose. You'd watch the Roy and Jose show.
I would watch Burnley versus Palace on a Monday night if the 2 lads were the studio guys.
Yeah, like the stream team.
I hadn't noticed this before, so maybe they've been doing it all the time, but Carragher and Neville were both co-com.
I haven't noticed that either.
But that's the first time?
Usually one's in the studio, yeah, and the other one would be in the gantry.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, so obviously I was watching the Kerry game, but flicking back and forth, you were like, they seem to do it too. Okay, that's interesting.
And how did that go?
Again, I was only watching for a second, and it seemed totally fine. Like, it's not complicated. It's just, so long as the egos are massaged enough, it looked like a good idea.
Back page of the Irish Independent this morning is Day of Destiny awaits. It's a picture of Stephen O'Brien celebrating his goal yesterday. Kerry in with a shout of stopping the drive for 5 after O'Brien leads stunning comeback. You've got risk and reward football. Sees United begin the season with a bang. It's Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford celebrating there. John Milan is building to build up to the hurling final. Unfinished business for Sheedy, leaves Tip on the brink, and Carberry left facing anxious wait. It is the reason why we're talking about Saturday, really. The warm-up games don't matter that much, and you won't remember Dave Kearney scoring a try, but we will remember the mini heart attack we're all getting now because of Joey Carberry and the level of his performance and then the subsequent injury. But it's not as bad as I would have thought initially. Once word was kind of filtering through that this had just happened, you're like, oh my God.
The news of Croker was like...
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah. Then Joe Schmidt came out and said, we're just going to wait for the swelling to go down. It doesn't look like he's going to miss the World Cup, he said. Which is, you know, a bit of a...
When you're actually talking in those terms, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, because I just assumed that it had been badly... Anyway, so fingers crossed. We'll bring you those medical dispatches as soon as we possibly can. Dream Dubs final is the back of the Herald, obviously. All set up for an epic decider. Paul Curran, this was a demolition job, and only Kerry can stop Gavin's 5-in-a-row chasers. Maguire, dream start for United, and that's obviously an incredible start for Manchester United, but were they a little bit flattered? We'll ask Stephen Kelly that a little bit later on.
Let's have a look at the Irish Times this morning. This is the front of their sports section. Kingdom coming to dethrone, says Malachy Clerkin at Croke Park. Keenside will be looking to stop Dublin, winning 5 in a row. Solskjaer salutes United's new boys. Meanwhile, this is Jamie Jackson at Old Trafford. Manager heaps praise on Wan-Bissaka, Maguire and James. And cull to continue as World Cup squad is whittled down. More players to be pruned from 43-man squad prior to training camp in Portugal, writes Jerry Thornley.
Final jeopardy. Kerry's goal hero O'Brien battles to avoid All-Ireland ban. That's kind of the main story on the front of the Examiner this morning. End of the road, Galway Miners end Kerry's 34-game unbeaten run to secure a date with Cork. And when it comes to Mayo football, which is more important, love or truth? And then lamps to the slaughter. Top of the morning to you.
Very good.
Lamps to the slaughter. Ole steering fresh course as Blues routed. It is one of those things that everybody knows. Like Stephen O'Brien knows that if he commits that foul, and it's a rugby tackle, so it's a clear black card, that there's a risk of him going to miss the All-Ireland final. I mean,
sorry, go on.
Brian Gavin's right in that he thinks that, like, everybody knows what the rules are. If you do it 3 times over the course of the season, then you deserve to miss a game. You have to treat the All-Ireland final the same as every other game. There can't be an amnesty for it. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. I think that maybe after an All-Ireland quarter-final or something, after the Super 8s, there could be an amnesty, so that if you do it in 2 games, if you do it in the, maybe, I don't know, because there is no All-Ireland quarter-final, so maybe before the Super 8s you start again, and if you do it twice from then on, is that enough?
Maybe. Like, to be honest with you, I actually kind of go along with what Brian Gavin's saying. The problem is he hasn't done it 3 times. He didn't do that yesterday 2 other times. Like the one against Meath and Navan just wasn't really a black card, and that's the one they'll be targeting. There's no question he deserved to get black carded yesterday, and I guess there does need to be some sort of punishment, but it's a bit of a disgrace if he doesn't get off this after the black card in Navan, because it was just an incorrect call. It's as simple as that. Like, we had Mickey Hart, funnily enough, talking about it last week with regards to Peter Hart, that it would be such a shame if he'd got one more black card and were Tyrone to win for him to miss an All-Ireland final, but I guess he's not worried about that this morning.
He would have had to play yesterday. I mean, he would have had to emerge from the pocket of whichever Kerry defender he was in over the course of the game. Really disappointing performance from Peter Hart, because he's one of the guys who has to lead that team, and they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, that second half performance was absolutely horrendous. It's like, as I say, I need to kind of watch the full thing back to kind of get a full sense. It'll be interesting to see what Anthony has to say in a little while, but it was just a complete flipping of the script, and ultimately if Tyrone had Kerry's forwards, they might have been out of sight in the first half, and unfortunately all they have is one forward who can do that sort of damage. Donnelly as well, to a certain extent. To be honest with you, if I was walking out of Croke Park yesterday and I saw Colin McShane getting interviewed as man of the match, I would have been like, fair enough. Because
even after they got beaten,
I would have been like, fair enough. I thought he was arguably the best player on show yesterday on terms of that single performance alone yesterday. But
he was really good, and like if Hart gets up and gets a second hand to the cross goal, like that was a chance. That, I mean, sorry, that would only have equalised.
I think so.
But
yeah,
it would have been interesting, and a shot in the arm for your momentum.
100%. Would have been interesting. That would have been the final nail in the coffin, actually, rather than a shot in the arm, I think. Back page of the Irish Daily Star is I'll be black. Kingdom's hero O'Brien hopes to win ban appeal, and all his risk rewarded by Manchester United. Jeremy Cross reporting their 4-0 win against Chelsea yesterday. And then one of the other storylines, as you can imagine, no surprise whatsoever that VAR dominating a few of the headlines this morning. Cody's fury at VAR. So Wolves skipper Conor Cody basically saying we'll have to play football without our arms anymore if we're going to have decisions like this. Wolves, of course, had a goal ruled out after, I think it was Den Donker handled the ball. But they've made this rule now that even if it is accidental, it doesn't matter. Goals are going to be ruled out.
The Daily Mirror's back page headline is feeling good, and that's Solskjaer hails his team's cavalier style and insists United glory days are back after opening game rout of Chelsea, and then also beating Black and Blues. There you go. It's because the black card and then the Blues of Dublin. So, and then Boss Joe and squad fear end of world. Joe Schmidt is already dreading having to make the final cut for Japan, and confesses he still has numerous selection issues to work out. I don't fancy it any day, to be honest. Probably 4 years ago it was one of the most difficult tasks I'd ever really put my mind to, because I know that team and how much the players want to get to the World Cup. It's for Ireland probably more than some other teams where we need to perform. This year, from the very start of the year, that has had to be the target. I think I could probably name certainly 20, maybe a few more. So the next call is coming fairly soon, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to happen this week, you'd imagine. Back page of The Sun is sob story. Kerry goal hero O'Brien to appeal his final ban, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer quoted there saying that this is just the start for his young Manchester United side.
So the back page of The Guardian is Fab 4 for United. Rashford puts Chelsea to sword as Solskjaer praises new signings. Certainly if you want to get a season off to a good start, a 4-0 win against a good Chelsea side, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see how good they are as the season goes on, but certainly Solskjaer is buying himself a little bit of time.
For sure. Back page of the Irish Daily Mail is final hurrah, but O'Brien faces anxious wait. Tommy Walsh there pictured in pretty good form yesterday, and Schmidt considers making more squad cuts, as we've been saying.
The front page of the Racing Post this morning is Roman conquest, and Romanised strikes for Lee and Condon in Group 1, Jacques Lemarois from Deauville, and then Curra chief vows to reconnect with racegoers. So obviously the new chief executive at the Curra is in. Pat Keogh has vowed to re-engage with disenfranchised racegoers and admitted that adjustments at the track for his first meeting in charge of the Group 1 Keeneland Phoenix Stakes were one step on a long road. So we wish him all the best.
And finally for me, the Daily Telegraph sports section leads with cheeky devils. It's Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford celebrating yesterday. United's high-risk strategy is rewarded with thumping victory, but Mourinho insists his old club stand no chance of winning the title.
Okay, we've got the Irish News for you this morning as well. Kingdom flex their muscles. Tyrone boss Hart, we'll keep on getting better. Big news from Mickey Hart's post-match huddle seems to be that he says he's coming back for another year, which I'm kind of surprised about, to be honest. It felt like that maybe this team has gone as far as it can go under Mickey Hart.
It felt like two really demoralising defeats for the semi-finalists this weekend, didn't it? It kind of felt like the end of the road almost in both cases. But almost more so in Tyrone's case because, I don't know, maybe the renewed sort of direct attacking play has given them something new to look at this year. But other than that, it does kind of feel like same old story. And had they won yesterday, like, would we even preview Dublin against Tyrone?
Well, we would, because we have 3 weeks of content to fill, and we're a sports media company, so yes, we would. But I know the point. It's like it would feel like the most foregone conclusion. At least with Dublin Kerry, there is the opportunity for us to. Kerry are coming. They're a young team, and we can build it up that way.
Yeah,
but nobody believes that, Owen. Yeah, do they?
I'm going to make a very strong case for Kerry to beat the spread.
Peter Keane,
they won't get beaten by 5 points.
Afterwards was talking about I've just been down in the dressing room there and the goalkeeper's on the phone to the local boot supplier because he's going to need 3 pairs of boots to keep the ball kicked out to Dublin.
Oh, that's a great line. I wonder how long he's been working on that for.